Welcome to another video. This is JC Diaz. This episode of JC Diaz Uncensored is brought to you by no one, just me, no sponsors. In today's video, I want to talk to you about what should happen in Minnesota now that the president decided to come to some sort of agreement with the mayor and the governor of Minnesota. Um, I can tell you what will happen because I can't read the future, but I can tell you my opinion and what I think should happen now that they both sides have come to some sort of agreement on how they want to enforce the ICE raids that the government has been enforcing in order to get the illegal immigrants out of the United States. So let's go ahead and start the show, and I'll be right back. And we are back with you. Listen, we have all seen what happened or what has happened in the last 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, ever since ICE was sent to the state of Minnesota, the city of Minneapolis. We have all seen what has happened as far as, two people being murdered, two people being assassinated in the state of Minnesota. Obviously, big flaws, big flaws on the part of the ICE agents who have done nothing more than to escalate what has been going on there. Do protesters have part in it? Yes, absolutely, they do have part in it. Just because, a lot of the protesters have been, don't get me wrong, a lot of the protesters have been going out there to protest peacefully, but you always have a few people who go in there just to cause trouble. And, when you get in front of an operation and you are impeding the access of ICE agents to get to some place where they want to get to, there's a possibility that things are going to get ugly, and now does that exonerate what the ICE agents have been doing? No, the ICE agents are obviously lacking good training. They're obviously lacking good training, and I believe both parts are wrong. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I cannot tell you what will happen now that the president and the governor and the mayor of the city of Minneapolis and the state of California. I can't tell you what will happen because I cannot predict the future, but I can tell you what should happen. What I believe should happen is, now that we have seen that the way they've been doing things, and I'm talking about both sides. I'm talking about the mayor and the governor and the president and the DOJ. The way they've been doing things hasn't been working out. And now that you have seen what happened, I believe what should happen is y'all should sit down and come to some sort of agreement as to what is it that you guys, each part wants in order to enforce the law. For example, the government or the DOJ or ICE, whoever is representing, which is Mr. Holman, right, for ICE, they should sit down with the mayor and the governor and say, look, this is what we need. We need, protesters can protest peacefully, but we don't want people getting in the middle or getting in front of our cars, blocking our cars when we're trying to enforce the law. And the mayor and the governor should say, okay, so this is what we need. We want your ICE agents to be less aggressive towards people. We need them to have some sort of mechanism or some sort of plan on how are they going to approach people to interrogate and ask if they are U.S. citizens or if they are legal or illegal in this country. I believe that they should they should go about it more like a police type of investigation, where if you don't have where instead of going to each person that looks, just because they look brown or because they have an accent, you just walk up to that person and say, show me your papers right now, and you are super aggressive. I believe you should do some type of like a some type of police like investigation. You should do your investigation. You have a list of the people who came here or who are here that you believe that they are illegal. You should have a warrant to get in the houses. As you should have a signed warrant by a judge. If not, you cannot just break into someone's house just because. If you continue to do that, it's only a matter of time before people start defending themselves and they start shooting ICE agents. So I don't think you want that. So I believe both sides need to come to some sort of agreement, and these ICE agents need to have a better training. They need to know how to handle stressful situations. Just because somebody has a gun, a law-abiding citizen like Mr. Pretty was, doesn't mean that he is a terrorist. That's our Second Amendment. And I believe we should be able to follow the Constitution, and they should not be profiling people just because they look brown or they look a certain way or they have an accent. That's not the proper way to go. You just don't approach people, start beating them up, and then ask questions later. And then, oh, okay, we made a mistake, but meanwhile, we beat you up and we send you to the hospital, and now it was my mistake, my bad. It doesn't work that way. I think that both sides need to sit down. They need to work out a plan on how they're going to approach ICE agents approaching people, not racially profiling, because it is absolutely wrong what they have been doing so far, and the president and DOJ have been guilty of it, honestly, because they haven't been de-escalating the situation. They have been making things worse. And the only reason why they changed their mind and they changed the way they approached it was because they saw that, thank God that there's videos, and we saw that Mr. Pretty was murdered. He was assassinated on the streets of Minnesota. And if there wasn't so many videos and so much proof, I don't think the government would have changed their rhetoric. I think they, just like they did within the first 2 hours of Mr. Pretty being murdered, they came out saying that he was a terrorist, that he shouldn't have been there. He was trying to cause mass shooting, which is not true. Mr. Pretty wasn't there causing any trouble. He was recording. He saw that a woman was being pepper sprayed. He went to help her, and all hell broke loose after that. So I believe both sides need to sit down and say, okay, look, this is the plan. What do you think about this? We have to stop playing party in this country and start actually working out what is right and what is wrong. This is what we need to do. As long as we continue to play party on this, I just do what my party says and you do what your party says, we are never going to get to any place. If we start trying to fix what's right and what's wrong and get to an agreement, come in between, come right in the middle and have some sort of agreement, the situation should get better. Now, is it going to be better? I can't tell you. I can't read the future. I don't know. I can't read their brains. I can't read the mayor and the governor's brain. I can't read Mr. Homa and the president's brain. I'm just telling you what should be done in order for this situation to de-escalate. The tensions are way too high in this country right now. And it's all because, first of all, there's several factors, right? There's social media. There's some YouTubers that are going out crazy defending what happened to Mr. Pretty, and there are others who are defending what happened to the ICE agents. And that's one of the factors. The other thing is that we have to stop playing parties and picking sides, and we have to start looking out for the American people. and we have to start doing what is right, not what is right for one side or what is right for another side. We need to decide what is right for the American people, and we have to put party aside, sit down, come to the table, and actually talk and say, okay, this is the plan that we have. What do you have? Do you have something you don't like about this plan? Would you like to change something? Let me see your plan. Let me see what you have and see if I like it. And if I don't like it, well, let's talk about it and see what can be done. But definitely the old way that ICE agents have been profiling US citizens and just beating people up, breaking into houses, breaking all the laws, acting like there's no law in this country, needs to come to an end, because this is just going to escalate the situation and we are going to end up in a civil war. That's what's going to happen if we don't change the way ICE agents are doing things. ICE agents are literally not following the law. They are pepper spraying peaceful protesters who are just standing on the side of the road. They're telling people that you can't videotape, you can't record them when you actually can. That's in our Constitution. They're telling people, they have been going around taking pictures of US citizens, telling them that they're now in a list of terrorists, which is not true. They're telling people, they're breaking people's cars, they're breaking into houses, they're literally kneeling on people's heads, because I've seen it myself. They have been punching people. They have completely been out of control. And I believe the reason they've been acting out of control is because the government and the DOJ have been backing them up the entire time. And just now, because of what happened to Mr. Pretty, they changed the tune. That's the only reason. I promise you that if there was no video of how Mr. Pretty was murdered, the government would probably, and the DOJ would probably be still be saying that he was a terrorist and he was the one who was brandishing a gun and blah blah blah. But thank God that there's phones. Thank God that there's phones and people have recorded what happened. I believe as long as both sides continue to play this party issue, we are not gonna go anywhere as a country. Now, if both sides come to an agreement, sit down on the table and say, hey, this is our plan. We want you to look at it. We want to see what your plan is. And if you don't like what each other's plan is, just talk about it until negotiated, which is the way it's supposed to be, until you come out to an agreement on how this law is going to be enforced. Because it is going to be enforced. We all know that. The problem is the way that it has been getting enforced is not working. You are breaking the law as ICE agents. You are definitely breaking the law. You are detaining ICE as US citizens. You are beating people up. You're doing whatever the hell you want. And it doesn't work that way in this country. There are laws and they need to be enforced. But you can't just be acting like Gestapo and, going door to door and beating people up without any accountability. This has to stop. At some point, this has to stop. So I believe, this is my opinion, I believe that if both sides stop choosing sides and stop playing party and actually sit down at the table and say, hey, this is how we want to do, this is the plan we have to enforce these laws. And then the situation should de-escalate. Now, will that happen? I can't really tell you, because one day we say one thing, the next day we do something different. I can't really tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you an idea that I have that could actually work in everybody's favor and could de-escalate everything. So this is just my opinion. If you guys have comments, just comment below. If you have any ideas, what should be done, just comment below. And please hit like, share, and subscribe. Help my channel grow. Thank you to my subscribers. I will be back with you guys in another video. This is JC Diaz. I'll see you later, guys. Peace.